Woman was kicked out of her home by her daughter-in-law and went to the river. At that moment, she heard the sound of a baby crying beneath her feet. Quickly, she ran over and picked up the baby. She kept asking who had abandoned the child. A passerby saw the scene and commented that the baby looked very weak. They said the baby must have been abandoned by his parents. They even advised the woman not to meddle in other people's business. But the woman couldn't bear to leave such a cute baby alone. She thought about the child's unfortunate situation, similar to her own. The woman decided to adopt the child and live together with him. In the blink of an eye, 5 years passed like this. The woman raised the child by collecting waste materials. However, she instructed the boy not to call her grandma in public. She was afraid that other children would look down on him for having a grandmother who collected trash. Just then, a group of children approached. Seeing this, the woman turned around in fear and hid. "Who is she?" "This is my grandma. She is the best grandma in the world. She raised me by collecting bottles." "Your grandma is amazing." They each handed over the bottles in their hands to his grandma. The woman, seeing how well-behaved and sensible the boy was, felt a pang of sadness. This reminded her of her own son's family. Back then, she had come to the city specifically to help care for her grandchild. Unexpectedly, her daughter-in-law constantly looked down on her. She would spray her with disinfectant every day. She accused her of bringing germs into the home. Her son, seeing that the relationship between his wife and mother was not harmonious, angrily drove the woman out of their home. Fortunately, the woman had stumbled upon the boy, renewing her hope in life. Sadly, the good times didn't last long. Just as they were about to head home, the boy suddenly fainted. The woman panicked and rushed him to the hospital. After examination, the doctor diagnosed the boy with a congenital liver disease. The only cure was a liver transplant. Upon hearing this, the woman offered to give her liver to the boy. However, the doctor urged her to reconsider. The doctor warned her that, at her age, the surgery would be very risky. Even if the surgery succeeded, the future rehabilitation costs would be enormous. The doctor asked if doing all this for an adopted child was worth it, but the woman replied that she had long seen the boy as her own grandson. She had already sold her house back in her hometown to pay for his treatment. No matter the cost, she was determined to cure the boy. Seeing her resolve, the doctor no longer tried to dissuade her. The hospital then offered her donations for the treatment. Soon after, both of them were wheeled into the operating room. As she watched her little grandson drift into anesthesia, she silently prayed for him. The boy's origins were actually quite unusual. He was the only son of the wealthy Gu family. Years ago, the Gu family was hunted by enemies and had no choice but to abandon their son. However, the couple had always been secretly searching for their child's whereabouts. One day, their subordinate received a notice from the hospital. They were informed of a patient whose identity was strikingly similar to the boy's. Upon hearing this, the man rushed to the hospital for a family reunion. Meanwhile, the liver transplant for the two of them had just been successfully completed. The woman pulled out her bank card and handed it to the nurse. She instructed her to use only the best recovery medicine for her grandson, but the nurse informed her that the bank card had been frozen.